Good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. We're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together, putting on our makeup and learning a memory verse and reviewing last week's memory verse. Our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Our verse last week that we had was trust in the Lord with all your heart. And that was, let's see, last week we were in Proverbs. So trust in the Lord with all your heart, Proverbs 3:5, I believe it was. And this week we're going to be working on a new one. And the one for this week, we're going to go back to 1 Peter 1. And for some of you that have been hanging with me for a while, you're probably going to recognize this one because this is a part of the verse that we had for episode 1. So this week's verse is going to be the word of the Lord endures forever. And that is coming from 1 Peter 1:25. So we're just kind of focusing on the tail end of what we did during that first episode. And I really like the picture from this week's verse, if you can see that there. So if you don't already have this, what I just showed you, that is our word in color coloring book. I'm going to put a QR code on the screen there for you. All of our verses are going to be coming from this. We're just starting at the beginning. We're working our way through to the end. So at the end of our first season, you will have a beautiful colored display of kind of a visual journal of all the verses that you have done over season 1. So just an extra way to think and contemplate on the verse while you're coloring in the picture. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today our theme, here, let me get that off of the screen there. There we go. We're going to go back to having our verse scroll across the bottom. So across the bottom of the screen, you are going to see our verse for this week scrolling across. So while you're doing your makeup with me, you'll be able to, look up and see that verse and just let that be part of your morning routine. So this week we're going to do something a little bit different. I almost actually have no idea what we're going to be doing, but you know that I love Juvia's Place. And they just launched a new palette. This is the Culture 2. Super excited. I have seen pictures of it, but I have not yet opened my package. So I kind of don't know what we're going to be doing this morning. So let's just open this together. It's got these little stickers on the end here. And I have seen a display of this in my store. So I have taken a little peek at it, but I chose not to look too closely at it because I wanted to do that here with you today. So this is the Culture 2. And let's open it up and take a look. And let me get this little thing out of the way. Oh, are those not just breathtaking? So today we're going to be, we usually use 3 kinds of tones. We use a light, a medium, and a dark, and then sometimes a topper. So it looks like they've got a couple of glitter. Well, it looks like maybe 2 glitters in here. We got some shimmers, and then we've got some mattes. So let's go with, that Palm Kennel's really pretty. I'm thinking we're going to do a couple of maybe opposing colors. I kind of like this one here. Safari's really pretty. But I really like that Yanga there. And I like the Lagos right there too. So let's go with, but the war. Okay, we're going to have to narrow it down to a couple things. We can't put all these colors on our lid. I mean, we could, but... Okay, so for today, let's go ahead and live in... I'm going to go with... Let's go with the Safari, the Joss. We're going to use some palm kernel on the top of the lid. And then we might use a little bit, let's see. So Joss, Safari, palm kernel, and then maybe a little bit of this bean too. I think that's actually a bad word in another language. Anyways, so we're going to go with this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one's just going to be an accent color. We'll just use that one a little bit. So let's just get in there and play and see how that turns out today. I've never done a new thing just live like this, so it'll be fun for all of us together. So we know we are going to start out by priming the face. And this week we're going to be using the Fenty. This is the Pro Matte Filter Mattifying Primer. So just give that a couple of taps to get that all mixed up for you. I'm a little nervous and excited about this. So I hope you join in the fun with me. So we're just going to give that one pump and then just a little tiny bit extra between the tips of your fingers. And this is going to help your foundation to last better. It is going to smooth out fine lines and wrinkles. It is going to, if you have a combo oily skin like I do, it is going to help control oil. If you lean dry to normal, she's got a couple of other primers that might be better for you. This one is the mattifying primer. So there's also the soft matte. There is a hydrating, and I believe she has a dewy one. I know in my store we carry 3 different ones of them. So you may need to adjust the primer just for what meets your needs. We're going to be using the concealer. This is the Bye Bye Under Eye from It Cosmetics. I am using the shade 11 in light nude. And I see some of you on here with me this morning. Good morning. So good to have you this week. I know one day I'll be able to figure out how to type in that chat, but for today, we're just going to have to talk to you and respond to you this way. We're just going to use a little line of that. A little bit of this kind of goes a long way, so less is more in this particular instance. This concealer works better when you let it heat up to your body temperature a little bit. So putting it on your finger heats it up just a little bit. Then we're going to tap it on here. Wherever you want to conceal something. This could be acne scars. This could be redness. Whatever it is that you don't like that you're trying to conceal. Hence the name concealer. All right. We're just going to blend that out a little bit with our finger. Let that warm up so that it blends out really nice. So we're just going to let that kind of sit for a second. All right. Oh, you know what I did? I forgot my tissue this morning. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't do a whole day of thing with that. So let me grab one real quick. Hope you enjoyed my crazy blue pants I got on this morning. All right. So I've got my tissue now, something to wipe stuff off on. Yay. We're going to be using our damp beauty blender. This is actually by Beauty Blender. Love this thing. The pores on this are so small, and this is made so well. It just wears like iron. I've seriously had this thing for months. I wash it once a week. It gets wet and rinsed out every single day. This thing is just a beast. The pointy end we're going to use for our concealer. We're just going to blend that out. And the concealer on the lid is going to kind of behave like a primer. I've got a little bit of redness here, so we're going to move that concealer down a little bit so that it conceals that redness there. You do and hide whatever is important to you. If this was going to go like on acne scars, you would just tap it on wherever you've got the acne scarring and just blend it out a little bit with this. It's the same premise as what I'm doing under the eye. It would just be spot targeted on your face. If you don't have a concealer or foundation color that you love, come by and see my store, and one of the Prestige Beauty advisors or managers will help get you shade matched so that you will love your foundation and your concealer. You want your concealer to be 1 to 2 shades lighter depending on what you're doing with it. That is lighter than your foundation. Okay, so foundation, we're going to go with the Fenty. This is the Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear, and I am the shade 185. We're going to give that a couple of taps, let that mix up so that our pigments and our fluid are all mixed up together. Now we're going to be using the chunky end of the Beauty Blender. We're just going to give that a partial pump, and we're going to start in the center of the face and just work our way out. So with this, you're kind of tapping, kind of a tap blend. What would you call that? Blend and tap? Oh, it kind of reminds me of that thing from what was that movie where she did the lift and snatch or something like it was that Legally Blonde, I think? No, Bend and Snap? Now I'm gonna have to go watch that movie because I can't remember what it was. I know, right? It's like telling a joke and then not remembering how the punchline goes. Okay, so now we're gonna use just a partial pump there. Move over to, I don't know, pick a cheek. I started with my right one, but you do you. And again, just kind of using that tapping, blurring motion to get that all blended out. And today I have on all black, so it doesn't, I kind of like to have my eyeshadow sort of work with what I'm wearing. And today I'm going to be wearing all black, so it doesn't really matter what colors I chose because one thing great about black is you can wear anything with it. And it's slimming, so it's kind of a win-win. I know, right? Okay. We're just going to blend that out to under the chin here. No harsh lines along that chin line. We don't want to see an end of the makeup. We just want it to seamlessly blend into that neck color. And working on the forehead there, using that same motion, trying to not get it too much into the hairline and not too gooped up into the brow. So when you get to those areas, that's going to be more of a swiping as opposed to the tapping. That just kind of lets it blend out nicely. All right. Give yourself a look. Make sure you like everything where it is. It's sitting pretty. You got some nice coverage going on. And once you are comfortable with everything, we are going to switch over to our setting powder. And we are going to be using the Lancome. This is the Long Time No Shine. So things I love about this. I love that it already comes with a puff in there. I like that it helps control oil in addition to just being a fantastic setting powder. It's milled very fine. So, you don't get a nice chunky glunky kind of look. It's just very smooth. And we are going to give that a couple of taps upside down. Let that work through those little holes on the top there. Once you've got the right amount in there that you want, we're just going to start out with under the eye, work into the corner there. And it's okay to leave a little extra here in this area because when we get to the shadow part, leaving a little bit here is going to give you a little something, something to swish off in case you have any fallout or your brush gets glunky or whatever. Going to work that powder down the center of the face. Just pressing that into the foundation. Now, some of you I know like to use a brush. That's totally fine too. I just prefer to not do the brush because I absolutely hate dusting. And I find that when I use a brush as opposed to the puff, I end up with a lot of excess dust in my room. So that to me says you've got expensive dust. So I would prefer to have more of it end up on my face, less in the air, and less dusting in the future. So you do what you are comfortable with. If that is using a brush, knock yourself out. All right. And again, this is kind of a pressing occasionally, kind of swiping motion, but you're not trying to move your foundation or wipe anything off. We're just pressing that powder in. All right. Now that we have a beautiful canvas to start our work with, we are going to add some contouring. So I'm switching it up a little bit. I'm going to be using two new things today. The first thing we're going to start with is going to be, this is the NARS. This is the, what is that called? Bronzing powder in Laguna O2. This is the original. Super pretty color. Liked kind of the caramel nature of it. Little different color than the Hula, but pretty close. So we are going to start with the flat side of our brush here. Working in a curved motion. We're going to go just above where the recess of your cheek there is. Same thing on the other side. Make that as dramatic or not as you like. Again, the flat side. Giving a little bit of a finish on the top there. Now we're going to switch to the side. And we're going to, don't smile or anything. We don't want it to lift, but we want to go right along where that line of your chin is. So that we're increasing, see the difference there? We're increasing the shadow to reduce this. And just work it to about right here. And that just gives you a nice finish to that jawline. Then we're going to take that side of that brush again. And we're going to chisel the nose. Don't go too dark here. We're going to take the fluffy part of our brush. And now we're going to go to the other new product. Well, one of the other new products I have today. So this is going to be the matte. This is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish. This is in Double Gleam. Very similar to Cookie, yet different. Love the sparkle in this one. So we're just going to use that fluffy side, and we're going to go right there, up the side and across the top of that cheekbone, highlighting the peaks. And then we're going to go down the center of the face, making sure we especially hit this Cupid's bow here. All right. We're going to finish out our contouring with a blush brush. And this is going to be our Volume 4 Blushed from Juvia's Place. And these are all the blushes in the Juvia's Place are very pigmented. So these are going to last you for a long time. So make sure you don't like swipe too heavy in these. Less is more to start with because you can always add on. But once you get it on there, it's a giant pain to have to take it off. So we're going to take this. You're just going to give it a couple of taps in that blush. You'll see what I mean. That was literally a tap, tap. And look what we got. Tap, tap. We are working between the highlighter that we set on and the bronzer that we put on, and then just kind of going up the temple. Now, you don't necessarily need to add any more. We're just going to tie that look together with that. I wouldn't even recommend dipping the brush back in. There's enough pigment going to be left on there. All right. And that concludes our contouring. See, that was super simple. All right. So given the colors that we're going, here, let me set that down. Whoops. The colors that we are going to be using today, I think I am going to go with a color lipstick that's close to that Safari. That one is, it may take me just a second to figure out which one of these. I wasn't sure which color we were going to go with, so I got like 12 lipsticks over here. There we go. This one is called Heroin. This is a matte lipstick from MAC. And you can see that color right there. So let me hope I have a lip liner that will work well with that. There we go. This is the 24/7 Glide On Lip Pencil from Urban Decay. And this is in the shade Pandemonium. Okay. Before we get into that, because I have gotten ahead of myself just a little bit, we need to review our verse together. So our verse for this week is 1 Peter 1:25. The word of the Lord endures forever. All right, now let's get to our lips. Okay, so again, using Pandemonium and that 24/7 Urban Decay. Let me give that a little bit of a sharpen because it is a little dull there. There we go. You want a pretty good tip on there, but it doesn't need to necessarily be like super pointy. All right. So we are going to ride right on the edge of that lip line. No need to go like over too much or inside. And I assure you, if you think you have too big of lips, that is not true. Larger lips are very much in right now. So line that whole bad boy and celebrate that God gave you beautiful lips. Okay. So we are going to line. There you go, right on the outside of that lip. And then we're going to make sure we hit the Cupid's bow first. Get that nice V going in there. And then we're going to work from the top of that Cupid's bow to the outside corner. And the same on the other side. There we go. Now, I don't know if you have noticed this or not, but lip liner always lasts way better and longer than the lipstick does. So I like to give a second line of lip liner just to the inside of that one we just did. Gives your lipstick a little something something to stick to and just makes it last a little bit longer, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to go just to the inside. And my lip liner pencil is about the same color as the lipstick. So if you were trying to do an ombre here, your lip liner is a little bit darker, you would do the same kind of thing to get that nice blend out. So if you're going for an ombre here, you're just going to take the tip of that middle finger and blend that out a tiny bit. All right. Now that we have got that beautiful lip liner in place, we are going to go with our, again, this is Heroin. This is a MAC matte lipstick. And you are going to line all the way to the outer edge of the lip liner that you just put on there. We don't want to see any of that lip liner peeking out. We just want to see the lipstick. So one easy tip is you've got a little bit of natural shape on this. They come already with this shape, and usually as you're using this, the way you apply is going to help that to stay the same. Use that tip point, flip the lipstick around the other way, and use that tip to help you get a nice clean line on that bottom of the lip. Take a look back, make sure you got your Cupid's bow even. And when you're happy, you're finished. All right. So we are going to have some fun with our eyes now. So we're going to dive into that Culture 2 palette. So again, we're going to be playing with Palm Kernel. We're going to be playing with Safari and Joss. So let me get this all situated here. All right, we're going to start with that. Well, it's actually a concealer brush, but an all over shadow brush. And we're going to start in that Palm Kennel. We're going to start with there. Just take that brush this way, get that loaded on both sides, and then you'll be good. This is going to go on the upper part of your eyelid here. And if you're using a different palette or different color scheme, this is just going to be kind of a natural color or the lightest color that you have. This is just going to give us something to blend into so that as we finish, it's like the foundation of your canvas. There you go. That's a better way to look at it. It's like painting your oil canvas white before you actually start painting. All right. Then we are going to grab a all over shadow brush. This is a MAC, could be 288, could be 258. I don't know. I've had it for a minute. But one shape like this. And we're going to do the same thing we just did with that larger brush. You're going to use the flat side, load both sides, and we are going to do the. Mm, mm, mm. Let's do the safari. Okay. Oh my gosh, that is so gorgeous. So we're going to start with the inside and then just work our way across that lid. And we're going to catch the other side. Doing that same thing, going up that same distance on that lid. Now that I've seen this color on and the intensity that it produces, I think we're going to change up a little bit of what I thought in my head. Um, so if you have hooded lids like I do, what I want you to do is look forward and see if that pink has peaked itself above that crack there. If your pink has not, I want you to grab a little bit more and go just a little bit higher. We want to see that pink topping out. There you go. Just above where that lid fold is. So we need to bring it up. For me, I need to bring it up just a little bit more. There we go. And then we are going to grab an angled brush. And we're going to be using the side right here. So you're actually going to drag it through the shadow like this. And actually, let's try. I'm going to go for the Masai. It's kind of an orange color. Just a couple of taps. And we're just going to use that as a blend out. There we go. Up there into that neutral that we did a little bit ago. Don't need too much color from it, just a little bit. Then we're going to grab the original brush that we have. Just give a couple of taps into that palm kernel, and then let's just make sure we've got that in as a nice soft edge there. All right. We are going to take our, let me see, let's go for the Joss now, and let's use an eyeliner brush. We're going to take this and we're going to drag this through the color just like that, using just the end of it. That's pretty. And we're going to use this as an accent color right along the edge here. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. All right. Okay. Very nice. That's so pretty. So let's go ahead and do the tops on both of them, and then we'll come back and do the unders. Okay, so we're just going to ride along that lid. Getting a nice thin line there. And then we're going to take that and let's complete that green. We're going to bring it to the underside here. And this is going to be our eyeliner for today. Doesn't take a whole lot, so don't load your brush up too much. And then try not to brush the brush in your eye. Wow. Super pretty. All right, so we got a lot going on there. I feel like we need a little something in the corner of the eye there. So we're going to grab our Velux Precision eyeliner. This one is actually an IT Cosmetics brush. Just kind of a nice, not really a pointy tip, but just sort of a dull flat tip. Works really nice when you're getting around the corner. So let's use a little bit of the Waroba, which is kind of a light greeny yellow sort of color. And let's just catch the corner of the eye there with that. Okay, on me it's looking, oh no, that's okay. I like that. Yeah, there we go. So we're just going to blend a little bit of that out onto the lid there. Blend it over into the eyeliner there. Same thing on this side. That's a great question. Oh, there it goes. Number 326. That's the IT Cosmetics 326 brush. I don't use this one a whole lot, but when you need it, it is the perfect one for the job. Okay. And looks like I have a little extra color on the inside there. So we're going to grab the bullet and try to erase that there. Yes, that one is the 310. This is the Velvet Luxe Precision Complexion. So there we go. All right. And then I need to just kind of dust off a little. And let's see how we like that. That is like super pretty. Okay. Stop admiring my work. And just since we're in the spirit of funky here, we are going to be using the Bad Gal Bang Blue Mascara. But before we get that far, let's go ahead and actually, I think I'm not going to use a liquid liner today. I like that green. I think it did a really good job of lining, so we're just going to leave that. So for your brows, you are going to use whatever brow product you are comfortable with. Because I have fashion colored hair right now, I'm actually going to be using the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick in the shade Pink Spirit. If you are using a Benefit product for your brows, which I highly recommend, or Anastasia or whatever it is, you are going to use that. If you use a setting gel, you're going to continue to use that. We are going to start right here on the inside edge. And we are just going to line our brows gently, following the natural line of our brows. And finish it at about a 45 degree angle there. Once you've got the lower part of that line done, work up One more level up. And then wherever your brow naturally stops, there you go. And my brow actually stops a little early, so let me extend it out a little bit so that it's even from there. And we're just going to do that same thing on the other side. Following that brow line, naturally ending at that 45-degree angle. And then we're going to make sure that our brow is here. So for me, that's going to come in just a little bit. Work up just a little bit so you can fill in that brow. And depending on your brow, you may need to go a third time up. Or maybe God bless you with great brows and you have to go a fourth time. God love you. All right. Take a look back. Make sure your brows are pretty even. When you feel like you are happy with that, you are going to take your brow spoolie. Sometimes that's on the other end of your brow product. I know Benefit ones, I think on everything that's on the bottom of that. I love that Fluff and Fill if you haven't used that one before, because it's kind of like a filler and a pencil and a pomade-ish kind of all wrapped up in one product. So that's pretty awesome. You just don't make it in pink. And we're going to brush in an upward motion, just with short, small strokes. We're not trying to bleed out the product. We're just trying to get the hairs and that product a little bit softer. There we go. Making everything harmoniously balanced and mixed together there. I think we all have features about our face that we love. For me, it's not the brows. For me, it's the lips. Some people have great cheekbones. Some people have great jawline. Some people got great eye shape. Um, just depends on what you got. So whatever your favorite feature is of your face, make sure that is something that you are accentuating. Once you got your brows the way you want, you're going to set that aside. We're actually going to wipe off our brush just a little bit because we had the orange mixed in there. We're going to go back and just do a small dip into that. What was that called? Palm kennel. Just going to come up underneath that brow. Make sure that everything is nice and clean underneath there. We don't have any hairs out of place. We didn't remove any eyeshadow. So it's just like your insurance policy. There we go. So now for the fun part. So like I said, we're going to be using the Bad Gal Bang. Let me turn it around this way. There you go. And this is in the blue color. Super fun. I love this color. I don't use it all that often, but I kind of get on these kicks with it. And I think I've been using it for about a week and a half now. So it happens. So with this, I don't usually put a lash on the top. I just let my lashes do the work. We are going to be using our Tarte eyelash curler though. Love the way this thing grabs onto your fingers here. This gives a nice, great shape. The rubber pad in this is very long lasting, like you'll have this thing for a long time. Doesn't pinch the eye. So what we're going to do is, because we're not doing lashes, we're going to be using a 2-step curl. So we're going to put it near our eye. You want to give it a couple of like a sample tweak, and you want to make sure that when you crimp that thing down, it is not pinching your eyelid. No pinching of the eyelids here. And then we're going to take a step. So we're going to put that on. We're going to say the verse twice because our verse is kind of short this week. Then we're going to pull it a little tiny bit away and do it a second time and say that verse another time. So verse is scrolling on the bottom of the screen. It's pretty short, so hopefully you can remember that. Get the lash curler on there. Give it a test. Once you got that where you want it, here we go. Ready, set, and there we go. 1 Peter 1:25. The word of the Lord endures forever. Now say it the other way. The word of the Lord endures forever. 1 Peter 1:24. 1:25. Sorry. Take a step away. Say that 2 more times. Crimp it down. The word of the Lord endures forever. 1 Peter 1:25. The word of the Lord endures forever. 1 Peter 1:25. Because we're not using lashes today, we're actually going to do this one eye at a time. So that was our first one. While that lash is freshly curled, you're just going to get that first coat of mascara on there. And we want to coat the front and the back of those lashes. Fully cover those lashes, making sure we catch the tips. All right. Now let's move to the other eye. We'll do that same thing all over again. Oh my gosh, I just love that blue on that eyeshadow. Isn't that cool? Okay, here we go. So going down, taking a test crimp. Once you got that where you need to go, here we go. Ready? Crimp. The word of the Lord endures forever. First Peter 1:25. I lost my head for a second there. The word of the Lord endures forever. First Peter 1:25. Take a step away, go up just a little, crimp it down. The word of the Lord endures forever. First Peter 1:25. The word of the Lord endures forever. First Peter 1:25. All right. And now let's get the first coat of mascara on that other eye there. I'm right-handed, so it's a little hard. Oh man, look at that. Okay, so what do you do when that happens? Do you see what I just did? I touched my mascara brush to my already beautiful eyeshadow. So we're just gonna pinch and take it off. We're gonna grab the eyeshadow brush that still has a little bit of shadow on it and just tap that out before it dries. Never happened. Okay, now we're gonna add our second coat of mascara. There you go. Making sure we're paying attention to the very far outer corner and inner corner. And coming back on those tips. Alrighty, now second coat on the other side there. This time we're going to try not to get it on our lid. Coming back to the tips of those. There we go. Much better this time. All right. Now that we have two coats on, we are going to catch our bottom lashes. And so with this, you're just going to make sure, especially that you wipe off the tip of that so that you don't end up with any extra to get gooped up on there. This is hard to do without a mirror. Let me try this here. There we go. And we are going as close to that lower lid as possible. Looks like I've used this a bit. I might need to get another one of these. Oh, dang. I have to go makeup shopping. Alrighty, get those lower lashes. Lower lashes I don't do a second coat on. I just make sure I catch them good the first time. We want to make sure the lashes are covered with that mascara all the way up to the base. When you got that side the way you want it, switch to the other side. All right. When you've got your bottom lashes covered and coated the way that you like, making sure I catch the inside of that really nice. For the blue, I like to go back and add a third and final coat just so that it intensifies that blue color. So we are going to do that one more time on the top lashes.
So I'll use the front face of that on this side and then just flip it around and use the other facing of that on the other side.
Nice. How fun is that? I love that for today. Alrighty, so let's say our verse together before we move on to our next step. So our verse for today is the word of the Lord endures forever, and that is First Peter 1:25. So our final step. Now you could add a topper on here if you wanted to. I kind of like the way that matte looks. Like the balance between the blues, the purples, and that fuchsia with the color of lipstick that I have on. So I'm going to leave it alone for today. All right, so I'm going to be using the Urban Decay D-Slick, and this is just going to set that makeup, give it a couple of shakes, tip your head back. Couple of sprays, fan that down. Once you feel like that is dry, you are good. All righty. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It has been a joy spending some time with you. I've enjoyed the conversation in the chat, although I haven't actually chatted, but talked with you and answered some questions along the way. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week on social media. And better yet, if you have the time and you're in the neighborhood, come and see it at my store in Midlothian, Texas. Would love to do that. And we would be happy to shade match you or help you find eyeshadow color, show you the new Culture 2 palette, whatever the case would be. All right, so let's do a little bit of a review here. I am going to, let me turn this off. There we go. We're going to hide that and we're going, oops. There we go. And let's do a little bit of a review. So we are going to dip back to episode 1, which is kind of related, as I talked about earlier, kind of related to the first episode that we did. So the first season, the first episode of the season was First Peter 1:24 and 25. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord endures forever. And then we move to Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13 is, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Then we move to 2 Corinthians 12:9. I can do, wait. God's God's grace is all you need. I'm terrible with the addresses. Okay, then we had Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Then we move to Exodus 15:2. The Lord is our strength and our song. We moved into Psalm 118:24, I think. Oh, yeah, 118:24. That is, this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice. And some of you might know the let us rejoice and be glad in it. Okay, and then we stayed in Psalm, but we moved to Psalm 8:3, and that was the moon and the stars you have set in place. Then we stayed in Psalm again and we moved to Psalm. This was, hold on just a second. There we go. Psalm 34:8. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Love the picture on that one because it was these beautiful little cupcakes. Sometimes when you color those pictures and you spend the time with that, helping you memorize could be the image, depending on your learning modality. That is definitely a thing that could happen. Then we move to Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good. Let's hold on. Let us not grow weary of doing good, but in due season you will reap if you do not give up. Okay, and then we move to Proverbs. Proverbs, woman, aspiration, yet seemingly unattainable view and vision of a godly woman. So that was Proverbs 31:25. She is clothed in beauty and grace, and she laughs without fear in the face of adversity. We had Psalm 96:4. Great is the Lord and worthy of praise. I'm trying to remember what that image was. I remember I liked it. I think that was the one that was really detailed and complicated. Okay, Isaiah 49:16. I have written your name in the palms of my hands. I liked that one. The video on that one was my favorite. Then we had Hebrews 6:19. We have this hope as an anchor for the soul. That was especially special to me because my dad was in the Navy and that one had an anchor in it. Okay, this one was one I struggled with personally. This one is Philippians 4:8. So finally, brothers, whatever is, and I may get these out of order, whatever is pure, whatever is holy, whatever is just, whatever is noble, whatever is commendable, whatever is excellent, think on these things. Then we had Proverbs 16:24. Kind words are like honey, sweet to the soul. I especially like that one. That one had a cool picture of a beehive. We had Matthew 5:16. Be the light. Matthew 5:13. So we stayed in that same section. You are the salt of the earth. Then we had Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things above. And then let me go back to the top because then we had the verse that we did last week was Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And then the verse that we are working on this week for episode 20, 1 Peter 1:25. The word of the Lord endures forever. So, whoo, that is a mouthful. I would encourage you to keep a look on the social media because every week, I think it's on might be Monday night or Tuesday night. There is a review video that goes out and that has all these verses. And so that will, help you to stay focused and to review all these verses that we have done together. So just a reminder that all of these verses are coming from the Word in Color coloring book. So you could see as you were watching me recite those verses today that definitely the imagery of that is helpful. And then also, I just look forward to, I'm not really a journaler, but I look forward to the end of season 1, having this colored journal of all these Bible verses that I have learned. So I think that's super cool. You can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform. Instagram was giving me fits today, so won't be live on there today, but it will be on my Facebook page, and hopefully today I get the website finished, and so it'll be on there as well. I'm also on Podbean, so if you haven't had a chance to do that, I believe we've also launched on a couple of other platforms as well, so that's super cool. Haven't seen an Apple notice come yet, but that could be coming in the near future. So until we meet again, my friends, let me get this verse up for you. There we go. The Lord keep you. The Lord bless you. Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace. So that comes from Numbers 6:24 through 26. So let's just pray us out together today. Father, I thank you so much for the friends that have come and hung out with me today live. For those who will watch this video after the fact, no matter what platform they've come on, Father, I just thank you so much for their time here today. And I pray that you would help us to treasure these words, that we would hide these words in our heart, Father, that we would use them as encouragement and discipleship, that we would use them just as a reminder that we are the salt of the earth and they would be at our disposal as part of our armor of God, Father. Thank you so much for these friends today. And I pray that you would bless them this week as they go out into their lives and out into the world. Amen. In Jesus' name, amen. So thank you so much for hanging out with me together. I look forward to seeing you all week long and then next week, especially next Thursday. So goodbye and God bless.